Hello everybody and welcome back to another VOD review. Today we are going to silver and reviewing Kiriko before the new patch does come out. If you want to introduce yourself, Wolf, go right ahead.
Yeah, hi, my name is Wolf. I am Silver 2 currently. I actually climbed up from Bronze 5 to Silver 2. I've been stuck there for a little while, looking to find ways to improve my gameplay and improve my game sense, probably is my biggest weakness, so I can climb a little higher.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I actually agree with that point with the game sense. I want to actually make a video soon because when I haven't been playing Overwatch, I've been playing Rocket League and I've been trying to figure out the game. I think game sense is so much more important than mechanics in these games, and it's a good thing that you actually brought that up. But that's great. This is Silver 2, you said. So I think what's really important, especially since the game is changing, and by the time that we release this VOD review, the meta might be a little bit different, is that we really have to understand like who's playing what characters do what. You know, that whole conversation needs to be reinstated in our heads, because I think there's going to be a lot of change coming soon. Mm-hmm. So if we look at their composition, they have a Reinhardt with a Bap and Zen. So compared to that like Kiri Lucio stuff, they're going to be playing a lot slower, and they're going to be playing to just poke you down a lot. So when you're playing against a Zen specifically, it's like you want to make sure that you're not making yourself too exposed, because then he's going to have a really easy time discording you and just like killing you for free. It's a very important thing to make sure you're not messing up. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So it's important that you are thinking through that, especially since Widow's there as well. Sometimes a little bit of Genji too. Just because he can also just kind of dash on you for free. But these are just, you want to make sure that whenever you're playing a game of Overwatch, you're looking at what they have and kind of how that's going to change the game for you. Especially if you're struggling with game sense, having that idea of, okay, what are they playing? What should I be like? How should I be reacting? Stuff like that is things that you want to think about. More importantly, looking at, are you NA, by the way?
Yes. Because
H-Bomb used to be one of my teammates on console like 4 or 5 years ago, and he's an EU. But anyways, when you're playing with your team, you have to realize, okay, I have a Moira. So realistically, maybe you're going to actually be a lot more aggressive in this game compared to if this Moira was like a Lucio. Why do you think that might be?
I think because Lucio, his whole thing is he's a speed boost, so he makes the team want to go in like deep, I guess. I know he's really good at dive comps because he like pushes everybody forward, but I know Moira is also big into like doing DPS to improve her healing. So let's dumb this down a little bit more, because I think another big thing for players that are in the lower echelon, they make things really complicated. What does Moira do a lot of? Damage.
What else does she do? She does a lot of healing. So if her dimension is, I'm going to do damage and healing from up close, maybe you can actually be a little bit more aggressive as Kiriko, because you don't have to heal as much compared to that Lucio that does a lot of healing for the whole team, but not one target in specific. So like Moira does a lot of not single target. She does a lot of just bulk healing, because that's kind of like her thing. Does that make sense? Yeah. She's like a little bit AoE. Yeah, and also with the rest of your team, they're a little bit, I think they're a lot more brawly than this team. They're going to want to play a lot faster than the enemy team. More than likely. But those are just some things that, like, again, what does your team want to do? And just play with how they want to play. And if you don't know the answer, just ask a question. Or, you know, the more you play, the more you'll learn. It's just those are good questions to be asking. So let's get into this. Let's not waste any more time. And let's see how you play this. Big things with Kiriko, Suzu usage, and yeah, honestly, just Suzu usage is the big one, the biggest one, I should say. Yeah, so straight off the bat, you can do some poking, which is fine. This is okay, just because of like you have a Moira. Obviously, the aim isn't great, but that comes really with time. And this is PC, I'm assuming. Yes. Because I saw you playing World of Warcraft. I'm assuming this would be PC. Yeah. I haven't played it a lot recently. But anyways, to refocus here. I wouldn't worry too much about your aim, because that's something you can always get better at. And I can give you codes to get better at that. But it's not something that you need to like hard worry about unless this was like, I'm in GM and I'm missing shots like that. Right here, this fight is pretty much lost, but your Moira just wants to go in. Interesting. It's because there's a Genji on the point. He was like backcapping. Yeah, but I think she tried to help him. Yeah, he's just gonna die. So in these moments, like, just make sure you're not the one staggering. that you get out here if the fight is lost, not wait too much time. So like right here, this is really dangerous. But still nothing that I've seen consistently that is making you lose quite yet. We're just vibing. We're waiting for our team to get back. Our Diva's out of car or mech, so we want to make sure that we help her get back. Okay, yeah, that's just... It's kind of a team gap right there. Doing that. Right there is like that's one of those things that you just gotta pull the trigger in Suzu. But right now, I'm still looking at what your consistent mistakes are, and we can derive it from there. It seems to me like the consistent mistake is gonna be that Suzu, but I'm not quite sure yet. All right, let's pull this back. What the heck just happened?
I saw Diva going in. I tried to follow her in to help her. She fell off the map, and I managed to save myself. So
okay,
I don't know what I was thinking.
That is just such a weird play from your Diva. I don't even know how to coach that.
I don't know what she was thinking.
Honestly, right now, I would be trying to TP back to the team. But since it is silver and you can do stuff like that, maybe you should be playing for stuff like that at this elo. I'm not sure. Like, because part of it in silver is like you kind of need to find ways to carry, and it's things like that that are going to carry the game for your team. The fact that you just get that pick there. And because you have a Moira, realistically, your team shouldn't die, so you can go for that kind of stuff more. So maybe it really is as simple as let me just like practice my mechanics and then do that. But again, I don't want to draw any conclusions yet because we did just start. That's a decent Suzu. Now I'm TPing out. Yeah, that's that kind of stuff. It seems just like you had the right idea. It looked like you wanted to TP to the Diva. It was just a little slow.
Yeah.
Which is fine. I'm still just looking at what is the consistent problem here.
Time to try again.
I mean, that pick allowed your team to walk in and probably win this fight. I would TP to that Hanzo just to get back faster the moment that you can. All right. We're even. We got a pick. Gotta watch out for some ultimates here. But that's a good Suzu. It's unlucky that that happened. I'm okay with that TP. Yeah, okay. That was a nice shot. It's always so nice watching people hit headshots on Kiri. All in all, what I'm seeing right now is just like you need to play a little faster. How much Overwatch 1 did you play, by the way? Just curious.
I literally played season 1, and then I didn't play anymore until now.
So you've probably put in what, like 100 hours max in the game?
I think I played a lot of quick play, so it's probably like 250 hours total.
But not a whole lot of
ranked comp. Yeah.
Okay. Because some of your problems be just like fixed if you play more, it seems. We do have 5 ults. I want to see how we're going to take this.
Oh, I completely mess up my ult here. I already know.
Right.
I know exactly what's going to happen here.
The first thing we need to wait for is this Diva to get back in mech. I don't know why she's not getting back in mech. She has it. She's trying to like Goomba stomp on someone, which is a little weird. Yeah, your aim is not terrible. Why is she not in mech right now? Hold up. This is for content.
No,
This is for content. Let's look at what she's doing. Watch this.
I think she's trying to go for a mech crush.
You know, she
kill.
is. She is. I know.
She's playing her own game.
Oh. Oh, God. That's Overwatch right there. Okay, well, let's talk about why this ultimate is bad.
Yeah, the team fight was over. That's why it was bad.
When team fights are over, because you guys already had like 2 picks, you don't need to really worry about using your Kiri ult. Like right here, 3 picks, don't use your ult. You don't need to.
Yeah, I thought that there was somebody on the point still, so I ulted. I felt so
even
dumb
if there's just one person
so
on the point, you got to realize when that fight is. Like, use your Kiri ult just at the start of the fight for now.
Right.
When you have a 5v5,
that's my biggest thing.
5v5, bam, go for it. You have to realize the low, if you're in like a 4v5 or a 3v5 situation, the ult loses value because it scales exponentially due to how many people you have. So just make sure you're trying. I would say rule of thumb, use it at the start of the fight to engage onto something. But the thing is, your diva was out of mech, so you probably weren't going to want to use the ult. So it's okay to just hold on to it if your team is just trolling. Excuse me.
I think the time that I use the ult is a big problem for me. I always want to save it, and then I should use it to engage, and then...
And we'll probably get better examples of that later on. Okay. You kind of found your way into a pick there. I don't know. I would love to say you should play with your team, but your diva's constantly out of mech. You kind of have to flank this game, I feel. But again, nothing's habitual yet, which is weird. Seems like you're getting just dealt a bad hand consistently. So now your team is staggering. But let's just see the next fight. Maybe something different will come up. It's a 4v5, so we definitely just want to wait for our 5th to come back. I'm okay with that TP up. 1v1 in Genji, yep. I don't think he necessarily needed to Suzu. You're at 92. Yeah, maybe you did have to Suzu.
I got scared.
No, that was a fine Suzu, because if he was good, he would have dashed right-clicked you and you would have died without Suzu. Damn. Okay, I'm starting to see more habits now. I don't want to say anything too much yet, but let's finish out the half and then I'll give you some notes.
Okay.
Okay, so we have Kiriko. This would be a fantastic moment to use it because it's overtime. A little late on that Suzu. Because we didn't use the Kiriko at the start of this fight, it's going to be... It takes too long and you're going to lose too many people before you can actually find the value with it. So...
Yeah.
That, I guess, could be a little bit habitual, but we only saw 2 of your Kiriko, so I don't want to say too much yet. What I will say, as of right now, is it looks like you're using your TP to get you out of situations that you think are dangerous but aren't quite dangerous yet.
Okay.
Like, what I can say specifically is that in Silver, you're not going to get punished as hard as you think you're going to. I feel like if you were at a higher rank, the way you're playing would be a lot better. But there's a lot of moments where it's like, okay, this Genji's looking at me. I'm 100 HP. Realistically, you probably should die. But if you see that someone is not performing at a level that's going to really take advantage of your mistakes, just like take advantage of their mistake for not killing you. Maybe you should squeeze a little bit more on that Suzu. But mostly it's with your TPs. You'll be like preemptively trying to TP out of danger before they actually pressure you. So like... What I would say is if you really want to carry your way through Silver, because quite frankly, you don't look like a Silver player. If you want to carry your way through Silver, squeeze a little bit more damage out of your duels. You'll find that you're going to win more of them. You're going to get more picks, and you'll be able to still use that TP a little bit later to get you out of danger. That's what I'm seeing now. It looks like you're preemptively TPing when the danger is incoming, but it's not necessarily like the threat yet. The threat isn't there yet. But I don't want to make that a bad thing because this is just one game I've seen. I haven't seen all of your games, so that could change depending on a lot of different things. I don't want to just give you that and then you play like super aggressive and then it just like doesn't work out for you. But now you switch to Ana, which I think is a good choice. I think she's easier to carry with than Silver, quite frankly. So if you're really trying to just climb out of Silver fast, I think Ana's the better pick. Kiriko is just a very strong character right now. I think if you want to do more on Kiriko right now, I would just say be more aggressive and don't play as passive with your cooldowns. I mean, overall, your cooldown usage is really good. I think you could just be doing a little bit more damage if you don't have that Lucio and Mercy as your second healer. If you have Moira, you can get away with being a little more aggressive. You should be able to. But I understand that sometimes players don't do their job, so also be ready to adapt if the Moira was being a flank TikTok Moira, which you did say that sometimes they do that, and then you just have to switch your play style. But the nice thing about what they have is, what do they not have on their team that would be really annoying to play against as Ana?
They don't have a Kiriko.
Yes, so that means they can't cleanse your nades, so you can pretty much do whatever you want against them.
Oh, that's a thing I've been trying, is that like I like to play Ana, and I tend to go Kiriko first to see if they have an Ana on their team. And if I see they don't have an Ana and they don't have a Kiriko, then I will go Ana, because there's really nothing to counter Ana's nade at that point.
Yes. I think at lower elos that is a lot more apparent, because you don't necessarily need the power of Kiriko at this rank, because people are just going to play dumb anyways, like we seen with that D.Va. This position, I don't mind it, I guess, but the team just didn't play it right at all, so...
I probably should have been behind the bridge instead of in the room.
I mean, like, the thing is like, your team... What they looks like they were trying to do is try to kill them in this area here. I would have rather seen you up here, but like over here to complete the circle isn't terrible. It's just like it's silver, so they don't even really realize that's what they're trying to do, and then they just kind of died. So again, I don't think that's on you. They just kind of dealt you a bad hand. Yeah, now people are just staggering. Right now, I would just... The fight is clearly lost here. I would be trying to take high ground either through this little place over here or over on the high ground on the right side of the screen. Either way is fine. Left side's a little safer. But the big thing about... and this kind of goes with your Kiriko as well, is you want to make sure that you're positioning yourself so that you don't have to use that TP in those really like passive manners. You want to make sure that you're not being forced to use abilities the way you don't want to use them. Same thing goes with Ana. Like you want to be up top here as your Winston's already in. Like you don't want to have to give him so much time where he's not actively being helped by the Ana. Right there, healing the Winston's better just because your Moira wasn't close enough to him, but I don't expect you to get that perfectly down.
Oh my god, my aim is so bad.
I mean, it's better than a lot of silver players, realistically. And that's all that matters. It seems like a map knowledge thing. Now you're back on top. So, I mean, that just comes to more playtime. To me, it seems like you just need to play the game more. Oh, don't jump there. Because there's no way back up.
Fell.
There's no way back up. Never want to jump there.
Yeah, I definitely fell there because I was trying to shoot the turret.
You don't actually die for it. See, and even then, you don't die for it. So I think this should be a learning moment for you that you can get away with a lot at this rank. And I think you're smart enough to get away with a lot more than you are currently.
Right.
And this goes for any game. Like, adapt to the situation at hand. If your teammates are playing like dog water, make sure you're playing differently compared to if they're like absolute god gamers. Okay, that's a good sleep start. We're going to be having to look for a nano somewhat shortly. Ooh, I would nano the Moira, honestly.
Oh, the Moira? Okay.
So here's the thing. Why would I say nanoing the Moira would be okay here?
I know Coalescence kind of wrecks with Nano, and
okay, this is actually this is the one time where I'll say the problem is a little complicated.
Okay.
So think a little bit deeper. What was the threat on their side of the field? What were they using?
Ooh, I don't recall.
Genji Blade.
Oh, okay.
What was Genji focusing?
The Winston, I think.
Well, let's roll this back a little bit. I mean, in a perfect world, he probably wouldn't be slicing a Winston, but we gotta look for a few things here. What does Genji get off of elims? Do you know? What does he get back?
He gets his dash back?
He does get his dash back. So in Blade, the most important thing is to stop his mobility, aka not let him get a kill. If you can stop Genji from getting that first kill that he goes for, his Blade will get 0. If you can't stop that, his blade has a very high chance of getting more.
Okay.
Because then he'll continue dashing, and then it goes to 60 to 120, and now the whole team is super low, and that's a team blade. So blade either gets everything or nothing. That's an important thing that you have to realize. So a use for nano, outside of just, oh, I can nano visor, oh, I can nano my monkey, maybe is to stop their blade from getting that first pick. So right here, he goes for the Hanzo. I'm okay with you trying to look for the nade here, because nano Hanzo, like, that's fine. Everyone else is still pretty high health. But looking for who to nano next is kind of what I'm looking for. So here, now it's like, all right, anti-Genji, realistically, he should just die. But at this rank, again, it's not perfect. So right here, I'm probably like, okay, I'll hit a shot and he's probably dead. Let's slow this down so that's easier to analyze. Right here, though, he slices the Moira. Another slash dash, he probably is dead. This is one of those moments where I could, if the Genji was better at the game, I would totally be okay with you nanoing the Moira, because she is your win con right now. If your Moira dies, your whole team's dead. It's over, because that's the only response you realistically have. So in this moment right here, when she's won like this, I'm just trying to say these types of nanos are okay because you're keeping your other support alive and you're going to kill this Genji and stop his blade.
Right.
Because let's imagine that this Genji kills the Moira. The anti-effect wears off. He gets a healing grenade. He's up to 90 HP and he dashes on you and you die. Now it's just your monkey and you lost the game. Better Genjis will do that. He obviously misses that last slash completely. And you managed to actually kill him there. But we can see how nanoing the Moira is not the only option. There are more options.
Right.
But yeah, let's keep going here. Nanoing here? Why is nanoing here not good? How many people do they have?
2, 3.
They have 3. How many do we have? We have 4 right now with spawns coming back.
Okay.
So who's winning this fight?
Probably us.
100% you guys, because you have spawns. Their Zen is low. They lost their win con, which was the blade. The blade didn't kill anyone. You don't need to nano this, because the fight's realistically already won.
Gotcha.
It's a 3-on-4, and you have spawns. Now, if things were a little different, and let's say like these 3 people were like Ana, their Genji, and Rein here, and let's say they go up and they nano blade, now the fight isn't necessarily won yet. Now I would be okay with you answering with a nano or something, but that's not the situation we're at. The situation we're at now is they already took their turn. You don't need to nano this. You shouldn't need to. Because now that we did nano this, we don't have a really strong nano visor to maybe stop all of these ultimates that are coming at us next fight. Now they are likely to win this next fight because they have a better ult economy. Something to think about. And that's, again, these are problems you have on both Kiriko and Ana. I'm trying to mix them together to make sure that we're on the same page here, but it definitely seems like you're higher. You should be higher than what your rank says. But, man, wow. Your monkey almost died. He gets back on.
Oh, he lived.
He actually killed the Moira. Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, these fights are weird. Wow, the Genji just let him wow. This is a weird game.
Yeah, that's why I'm never sure, like, if the numbers is that big of a deal, because like I've seen fights where we have 4 and they have 2 and we still lose because.
Well, you have to realize like what's going on here. Like if they have Nano Blade, obviously that's gonna change things, right? But if they're like low, you don't necessarily need to nano. You just need to be a little bit more accurate with your cooldowns.
Right.
But what I'm saying about this fight is I'm not in love with this positioning, just because a very common way for teams to go is through the castle here. And if you're stuck here, both teams essentially flip map. And then they have advantage of having this high ground where if you guys then are forced here, you're surrounded in a circle with nowhere to go. They keep pushing cart. I don't love that spot. I would much rather see you maybe poking from here to see where they're going and then rotating back to this angle over here. I don't like just sitting on cart is what I'm trying to say. Maybe playing a little bit more forward with your team. I want to see if it actually hurts you here. It probably doesn't. I would have much rather you seen a nade to try to keep your soldier alive than go for the sleep. That's just my personal style. If you hit that sleep, it still keeps him alive, but I think that's making things harder for yourself. And the Genji still got out, which is annoying. Okay. Yeah, I like this spot a lot better. You look for like a second. Yeah, that's a good pick. I'd be using nade a lot more aggressively than you are right now. Looking for those moments where the Rein's going to drop the shield while your team just killed you. That's not even your fault. But this whole fight, you could have been looking to just nade a little bit more aggressively than you were. There's a lot of moments where it's like, if I step a little bit over this way, look how much easier hitting a nade on this angle is than here. Especially when you have a Moira.
Honestly, I didn't even realize you'd go down there. So, yeah, like you said, map knowledge, like I had no idea.
Yeah, honestly, if I'm going to be completely real with you, bro, like if you just play the game a whole lot more, I think you're going to have a lot more success because it doesn't seem like you're a dumb player. Your mechanics are much better than what your rank entails. It just seems like you haven't had enough time to really learn. Right here, yeah, just looking for nade. Oh, unlucky, he missed it. Wow, okay.
Yeah, I remember that part. Woo.
That's just.
I forgot the Zen kick is like a big knockback.
Yeah, I guess you could have played for that, but okay. So I understand this was a quicker review, but I want to. I think it exposed a problem where it's like, okay, we haven't played in a while. I wouldn't necessarily hold up. Let me turn this music off. Why is this? Okay. Oh shit, I messed up. Anyways, you can see my paint, right? All right, so that's too chunky. The number one thing I would say is that it's going to be an umbrella term where a lot fits into this, and it's just going to be a little bit more aggressive and not so like scared and passive. You don't. It kind of goes into this confidence idea. It didn't seem like you weren't confident. It seemed like it was an idea of like, I'm a support. I need to play a little bit more passive and make sure I don't die. But it wasn't terrible either. Like if you were to continue playing like this, but if you just hard grinded, you'd probably be at least plat. You would probably be at least plat, at least.
Okay. Yeah, I think my biggest problem is that like I like to play aggressive, but I think you get flamed a lot in silver for playing aggressive as a support. And it's difficult because if you don't play aggressively, your team isn't going to get picks because they're not mechanically skilled. So you just kind of have to sit there and heal them, and you can't rely on them to actually get value out of your healing. It's mostly just to avoid getting yelled at. But...
Okay, so I'm going to counter that point with like two things, right?
Okay.
One, who cares what these silver players are saying, dude? They're going to stay silver for the rest of their lives. If you just get better at the game and improve, eventually you're going to be in diamond in like a month, and then they're going to still be silver. Like, who cares at that point?
All right. Fair enough.
Obviously, that point gets a little harder when people start to recognize your name in GM and they start like trash talking you on Twitter and in DM calls, but you're not at that level. And that is pro play, and that's not very fun for me. That's why I like content. Thumbs up. But the other thing I'm going to say is, aggression doesn't mean you're being reckless. Aggression doesn't mean I'm walking in front of my tanks. Aggression doesn't mean I'm in a really shit position and I have to hit every single shot to make this work. Aggression is just allowing yourself to get more value and you're still safe. For example, like if I see that my enemies are not taking advantage of the fact that I'm just like taking duels, then keep taking those duels. If I'm going to consistently just 2-tap this Widowmaker, I'm going to walk in, I'm going to 2-tap her, I'm going to TP back to my support in the back line, and now I just created an environment for my team that it's a 5v4. I'm at least making it a little bit easier for them. Or the anti-nades, they can just be a lot more aggressive when they don't have a Suzu. Like when they have Suzu, obviously it changes things. You either have to be super aggressive right at the start of the fight, or just wait and hope that she gets forced out sooner. But when you're not playing against the Kiriko, you can just be anti-nade, 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 anti-nade. You're going to do so much more with that. And that just comes with more playtime and learning how you anti against different tanks. Anti against a Reinhardt, it's a mind game with him and seeing how he's shield dancing. And it's harder when they know that they're supposed to be blocking your nade. Silver Reinhardts don't even know what nade is. And that's just real. And I'm not trying to rank shame anyone. There's just a lot of players that do not know that that is a job that Reinhardt should be doing. People in GM don't even know that. So really, you shouldn't get mad about that. It's just the state of the game. But it's very important that you're doing that. And it's just aggression and getting more value, because I think your aim is fine. Like, the number 2 thing I'm going to say is like ultimates, just in general, is just understanding. Okay, that was a bad L. Alts. Understanding when the fight is lost, and that you or when the fight is won. Excuse me. Understanding both of those things, and then playing accordingly. If I have 2 picks and they're not trying to respond with something, I don't need to use an ultimate. If I think I can clutch up maybe and I can nano blade, it's okay if I'm down 1. The fight isn't lost yet. But if the fight's lost, I'm just not going to invest. I'm going to die quick so that we don't stagger. Because if you just sit around a lot and you die really late, what's your team going to do? They're not going to wait for you. It's silver. They're going to walk right in and die. So you want to make sure you're avoiding that as well. It wasn't a problem with you, though. Like, honestly, you're very good for your rank from what it looks like. You're very deserving of a higher rank. I think the ultimate thing, though, that would help you out a lot, because you're going to get even more value when you don't waste your ultimates when you don't need to. Kiriko ult, when you use it when you actually have a fight, trust me, you're going to win fights that you didn't even realize were winnable before. And it's a really simple fix that I think you understand. If you don't understand, please ask a question. But I think you're fine with it's just going to take more practice. Does that make sense?
Yes.
The last thing I'm going to say, if you've been watching my YouTube a lot, you probably already know this code. If not, I haven't actually talked about it in a while. It's an aim training code called VAXTA. I don't know if you're aware. If you do this 15, 30 minutes a day, your aim's going to get a lot better. You're going to get a lot more confident. And you'll feel okay with being more aggressive and getting things done. Like 100%, you're going to be doing much better in that regard. I know I said 30 minutes a day. If you really hate this, start with 5 minutes and work your way up to whatever you see fit. I would say at least 15 minutes, 30 minutes is awesome if you could. But it's a lot like going to the gym. You don't want to do the hardest workout the first day you go if you're completely new to it, because you're not going to go back. Work your way into it. The same thing with aim training. Don't do it all in one day. Work on it. Create a habit. Make it consistent. That's the most important thing. I used to be a console player. I switched over to PC. My aim was atrocious. I'm talking 10% accuracy on Ana, even on my own teammates. And now I'm here where I am, where my aim isn't super great, but it got a lot better because of a coach that told me, hey, just use aim training 5 to 30 minutes a day. It actually works. Trust me. I don't know why people think it doesn't work. I was one of those people too, but it does. It just takes a little bit. It's not like instant. It's a patience thing. But you seem like you have patience. I mean, you're a World of Warcraft player. I think you have
yes,
some patience.
Definitely.
I played some WoW too, so we can talk about that later though. But do you have any other questions?
I guess the one question that I have in terms of like ults is a big problem that other than knowing when to use them, a big problem that I have with the Kiriko ult is positioning it, because a lot of the times, like, you know, in a control map, I try to drop it on the point so that that's where the team fight's happening. It's on the point. But other times it's like I feel like I put it down and everybody walks out of it. It's almost like people in silver just don't know what it does and they don't try to utilize it.
So
well,
they
like,
don't. They don't know what it is. But go on.
Okay. Yeah, like, so where do I start putting it that's gonna get the most value out of it?
So realistically, right? I'm gonna erase all this. Is this fine if I erase it all?
Yeah.
All right. The big thing that you have to understand is that Kiriko ult it's an engagement ult. You're walking in with it. That engagement ult, that's not a thing. I mean, I guess it could be, but I'm just making up a term to make it more simple. Let's say that your team is A and the enemy team is B. The big thing I can tell you is you want to, especially in silver, you want to already have some forward motion with your team before you use this ultimate. You want to try to avoid your team being like, I don't know if I want to push in or not. You want to avoid having that sentiment with your team. You want to make sure that they're punctual with this and they want to walk in. Because the whole idea is that B is going to run away from A when they use Kiriko ult. They're going to run away this way. The idea is that when you use Kiriko ult, you want to be in a position in which you are not going to let them get away and you're going to catch up to them very quickly. When you use the Kiriko ult, let's say in this position, and let's say that the purple or pink, that's not what I want to use, the purple. Let's say that purple is like before you're using Kiriko ult. You want to make sure that you close the distance. You're not going to let them get away. So if you just put on the objective, that's not necessarily a great thing, because if the objective, let's say on this green line up here, let's use white. Let's say the objective is here and B is still all the way back here. B's just not going to go on the objective. The objective doesn't matter. Unless it's overtime and they have to come to you, then that's fine. See how things change a little bit. There's a little bit of difficult situations. You'll get better at that the more that you play. But this is just kind of the things that you have to think about. I'm not necessarily thinking about this. I just know this in the back of my head because I've learned it. But once you learn it, like, again, that's going to be the same kind of idea. And this goes directly into point 1 with aggression. The moment that you're more punctual and you do things with purpose and you don't let them walk all over you is the same moment that stuff that's good starts to happen for you.
All right.
Do you have any other questions? And if it's not at this moment, that's fine too.
No, unless you can tell me how to get my DPS to stop walking in a straight line towards Soldier.
No, good luck with that one. Just let him do it. Let him do it. Don't let that take your mental space. Just focus on your game. Keep doing your thing, and you're definitely going to climb in the long run. You're going to have those bad games. Again, I'm going to talk about my Rocket League climb, which I'm probably going to make a video on the alt channel for. But I've had a lot of bad teammates on my climb to champ. Like, really bad. I'm going to let them just... Like, if I get mad in my head about it, it's not going to make them play any better. I just got to do my thing.
Right,
it's the same exact thing with gold, with silver, with plat, with diamond, with masters. Hell, even in GM. You're always going to have bad teammates. You just can't worry about it. You got to play your game. The moment you realize you're not playing your game is the moment you just got to get off. Because silver players...
That's the advice.
Yeah.
I was going to say, that's the advice I hear most from people, is that you can't control your teammates. You can only control yourself. So don't worry about them. Just play the game for you.
Anyone that tells you otherwise and that you can complain at your teammates are probably just top 500 hit scam players that are cracked off Addy and just are really upset with life. Because that's typically the people that say, yeah, my teammates are terrible. Typically.
There must be a lot of top 500 players in Silver then.
Yeah. They watch a lot of top 500 players that are they're big fans of, but they don't realize that they're not him. But
right.
If you don't have any questions right at this moment, I'll answer them later too if you just DM me. But to close out the video, if anyone has questions in the comments, please let me know. This was a shorter VOD, but I hope this still helps you all, because I think the whole mental idea of being more aggro, being more confident would help a lot of Silver players that are really not meant to be in Silver, because there's a lot of those. There's a lot of really strong players in Silver. But with the new season coming out, please let me know, guys, what exactly it is that you want to see within the next few weeks, because I've been on a little bit of a hiatus with YouTube and I need to get back into it. I want to know what you guys want to see, because there isn't a whole lot to really cover. I am probably going to start making more map positioning guides if that's something you all are interested in. I'm not sure. But yeah, just let me know in the comments down below if you've watched a random dude scream at a screen for 38 minutes and you're not subscribed. Maybe you should consider doing so. But that's all I have for you guys. Thank you all so much for watching. But until next time, I've got to peace out and Paz out. I'll see you in the next one.